Hello, 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 hello. Erica, you're on.
Yes, ma'am.
Tanisha, you're on.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, hello.
Okay. Okay, y'all. So today's podcast is about marriage and what does it mean to you. So, I mean, maybe that's something we could like just kind of ponder on for a second. Um, what does it mean? You know, so while we're waiting on we some people to come in and to join us, the live stream will start at maybe like 8:20. So
Mm.
we'll just wait on some people to come in and you know. Are any of y'all on Facebook? Is there any kind of way
Um,
that you can
I
log
can.
into
Let's see.
Facebook and see?
Choo-choo. Where you got it live at, Shell?
It should be on my Facebook Live.
Let me see.
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
The last thing it
Okay.
was 45 minutes ago, but yeah, when you were on here, but
Because remember last
I
time
see it.
it'll show like a red dot when you live on Facebook.
Right.
Oh, I see us on there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we'll just wait till some people come in. Um, I went to Facebook so I could see us on there live. So
So is it going? Oh, it must be going to. Oh, maybe I'll go to your page.
yeah, you gotta go to my page, I believe.
Not you got the music too, honey.
Is some music on there? Is it on there, y'all? Some music on there.
I can
Y'all,
hear.
we're having some technical difficulties today.
You.
So bear with
Well,
us.
we gonna get it together.
This is our first live stream. So we will definitely be getting this together soon because we don't want these technical issues anymore. So so my
Miss Tracy.
question, y'all, was um, what is marriage? When someone says what is marriage, what do you guys think of? So Tanisha, I would ask you that question. What is marriage to you?
Mm, I would say marriage to me is two people in a loving relationship who's grown through some things, who have a mutual understanding that love is just not the day that we get married or a ceremony. Love is, or a marriage, I should say, is sometimes like things are not going to go your way or his way or her way. Because
Hmm.
now I'm in an era where marriage is not just a man and a woman. Marriage is, it could be to women, to men. So to
Hmm.
me, marriage is, you're with your forever partner, somebody that you can grow old with. And now marriage is it not just for heterosexual. It can be for gay couples, lesbian couples. So to me, marriage is different in so many ways. Marriage is also about, learning about your finances. It's some people say marriage is a business, and sometimes it is. It's like you need to learn about different aspects of life. And I feel like at the end of the day, marriage is having somebody that can be there for you.
Erica, what would you say that what would marriage be to you? Like when someone says what is marriage or what does marriage mean to you? What does that mean to you?
For me, I think it's definitely building a foundation together. Um, Two people coming together, building a foundation together. It's definitely, to me, it's going to be communication, compromising, and just having respect for each other.
Hmm.
As to say, it's coming together and being able to. It's no longer you individually. It's two. I mean, well, let me back up. It's two two people coming together and becoming one. So you're no longer an individual. I mean, you do have your individuality, but definitely you have somebody else that you're thinking about, and y'all definitely have to just be able to trust each other and work together. I think,
Right, right, yeah,
to me, it's a
yeah,
lot of compromise. Um, because we get used to doing things on our own, but if you're able to definitely compromise, work together, build something together, trust and grow, and like you said, grow old together.
right. So I guess my thing with marriage is just to me it's like two imperfect people getting together, trying to coexist in the same space and being able to like just work through all the different difficulties of just being two different people who've grown up different, two different people who have that have just been raised different morals, different values, and things like that. So that is a kind of, I would say what marriage, of course it comes with love and loyalty. As everybody know, I'm big on the loyalty part because I feel like, you know, I feel like love can be, I think we throw the word love around too easily and too much. And I feel like at some point everybody has loved everybody that they dated or everybody that they've been in a relationship with. So what I wanted more so in my marriage was loyalty. And I felt like the love would come behind that. Loyalty was something that I never had in the marriage. So, um, you know, so that was big for me as far as loyalty in a marriage. So, marriage to me is just two imperfect people coming together, trying to coexist together in this world that, throws a lot of different obstacles at us. Um, you know, when we get together, being a married couple. So, that's kind of what it is for me. You know, so in marriage, so when you are married and you are with someone, what do you think? So when you hear people say, "Oh, marriage is just a piece of paper," like I don't really care to be married. It's not something that I care about. It's not something that I. It's just a piece of paper. Um, why do you think people say that about marriage? Tanisha, you can answer that first.
I feel like people say that because sometimes people just deal with whatever because they don't want to be alone, or they're dealing with something in their relationship that person is not willing to change, and again they are scared to be alone. And I'll be honest, I used to think like, oh, it's just a piece of paper, but then you get older and you start thinking about, oh, what if somebody passed away? I married someone who has children, so it's like you think about the kids, you start thinking about your own benefits, like, do we have life insurance? What are we gonna do about this house? You start, you get a little older and you get a little wiser, and you think about that paper as an investment, not just for you, but for what's behind. So I was one of those people, I can honestly say. But as I got older, I'm like, yeah, that paper is gonna help me in the long run. It's almost like insurance.
Yeah.
Like that paper,
Mhm.
it got my name, it got my maiden name on it, but then it has my new married name. So if something ever happened to one of us, it's like this is saying that this was something happened to him or her. Like it's gonna help take care of me, whatever benefit is left for me. So I don't believe that marriage is just a piece of paper. I believe that paper solidifies if something ever is in need or you need to verify, because as you ladies know, everything is, we all need receipts, and marriage is the biggest receipt that the government has provided for a union of marriage. That's just how I feel.
Right.
That's
So, Erica,
that's
what do
your
you think about when you hear people say, "Oh, it's just a piece of paper"? Like, I don't really need to do that.
um like she said, that's your legal binding contract right there.
Hmm.
That's gonna definitely protect you when that in the future. So just saying it's a piece of paper, but you know, over time we have seen people go through it where you don't have that in writing, you have no rights, you know? So I think it definitely just puts that stamp on it, make sure that you're protected. Because you put in years, people put in 30 years and or 20 years with somebody, and it's like something they pass. Y'all have all these things together, but you have no legal right over anything if something happens to them. So to me,
Yeah.
you need a contract. You need that in black and white. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. We gotta have that in black and white. So
Right. So for me, I think that y'all know how I am with this stuff. I think that a lot of people just can't get married. And I don't think
mm,
nobody has ever asked them. And so that's the defense part of it, is to say,
Hmm.
well, I don't want to get married, or this or that, or they know that the person that they are with, kind of like Tanisha said, they just kind of settle and they know the person isn't marriage material, or the
Hmm.
person has never asked them.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of people get asked, but nothing ever happens. Nobody never pushes on nothing. The guy never pushes it, because what I believe is every woman do want to be married. Because to me, anytime that you give a man your undivided attention and your time, do you know how precious time is? That those are days you can never get back.
Hmm.
So if you sit up and spend your life with a man for years and years and years, and this man could die tomorrow, and you have no say so over nothing, then to me that's like kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, who would do that? So it's like, I just believe that a lot of women have never been asked, and if they did, the person wasn't that serious about it. Um, it was just something probably to make them shut up, or something that may have sounded good at the moment. But I don't think I don't think a lot of women have been really asked to get married. You know what I'm saying? Um, so when I hear that, like, oh, it's just a piece of paper, and I'm thinking, okay, well, you can go split up your money with somebody for the rest of your life and give them all your time, because one thing we know is the most precious thing that we have is time.
Yes.
You can be spending your life with this, you can be with this joker 10, 12 years, and then something happens and you have no say, you get nothing, you get no insurance, and then you decide and spend all your money and all your time, and then at the end of the day, you stuck out. So to me, when I hear that, I'm like, I think it's kind of, when I hear some people say, I'm thinking, oh, that's kind of ignorant. And then some people I hear say it, either probably have been married and then something didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, no, it's really not just a piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? Um, that paper holds a lot of weight.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
think is what people really don't realize is that, yeah, it is a paper, but it's a lot of things that fall under that paper too. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Hmm.
so, and not even to be on the ugly side of it. It's just that, it kind of is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that, in a sense too, you know, when I hear people say that, it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
what happened? You know what I mean? What happened? What's
Yeah.
wrong?
Why did so? I was thinking about it when you were talking about it because, okay, just say for instance me. Everybody know that I got with somebody in high school and I was with him for 20 something years, right?
Mhm.
So for me, I think because I was young, I was in high school.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I think at that time I wasn't even thinking about marriage.
Right.
Mhm.
And so you get into life and you get into and then you get pregnant, you have your babies and you just go the flow, and
Mhm.
you're trying to at the point you have this child and you're trying to keep your family together, but I'm still not thinking at the time when I got into the situation. I wasn't thinking long term. I wasn't thinking marriage, but we ended up being together 20 something years.
Mhm.
Not to say
Mhm.
that it was all bad, but honestly, as I got older and had a child of my own and started to get into life, you
Mhm.
see things different, but you're steady trying to keep this family together. But
Right.
your life is different. You're in different places, really, but you still want to keep that. But I never thought I'm just gonna get married.
Do you think it was you started being around, because for me, I think it was I started being around different people who value life differently. And I'm like, when you see better, you do better. And it's like, yeah, I can't just be nobody's girlfriend forever. I got to, I got to get this legal. You know,
Yeah,
I think that's
No, for real.
key. Like
yeah,
everybody else talking about, like if something happened, I'm like, well, I ain't got that. I've been with this
yeah.
man for 5, 6 years. I don't have that. So I think for me, like you saying, Erica, I'm right with you. Like you just go through the motions, but then when you start being around other people, you like, where you get that at? I don't have that. So it's like when you see better, you do better. So I get what you're saying, Erica. Sometimes you just go through life and you like,
Yeah.
well, wait a minute, I got a daughter. I don't want her to do the same
Mhm.
thing that I'm doing. So I get what you're saying.
Right.
I think also,
You do
Erica,
right.
you were so young. Like high
That's what.
school,
Hmm.
you high school, like you young, you moving around. You just boyfriend and girlfriend in high school. You know what I'm saying? You're really not. Marriage really isn't on your mind. And we um even though we're and another thing I think that as young adults we are not taught
Mm-hmm.
that before you even be laying down with somebody, the marriage talk should happen first.
Mm-hmm.
Because then the babies could come and then you're not married to the person. And then you're really doing it backwards instead of
Mm-hmm.
moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I think that if we would have learned long ago when we were younger
Mm-hmm.
that if we like you don't do any of these things until you know that this is a long term commitment.
Right.
I think we have these babies. We're not taught courtship, and this
Mm-hmm.
is what happens during courtship. And then at a point after a little period of time, this man needs to be figuring out if you the one or not, or you need to
Right.
be figuring out if he can fit with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I think what has happened, we learned it backwards, and that's why we're having so many long term girlfriends.
Right.
And you got to remember, those are years you can never get back. You done spent damn near half your life with somebody.
Right.
And then what did you get out of it? It's like nothing. Okay, we got our kids, we love them, but then
Hmm.
it's nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, I've seen the cycle. Like, even with me, I got 3 kids and was married to neither one of their dads. And it's like, I think people need to make marriage more important. I think people have gotten so comfortable in the girlfriend section because these men don't want to commit. And I think these women believe that if they stuck around long enough, these men will commit. And one thing I learned, like even me being married 3 times, what I learned is early on a man gonna know if he want to marry you. That's just all said and done. It's not gonna take him. What is it that you trying to prove to him 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the line? Like, what is the proof? Like, what I gotta do? I gotta go jump in the damn Grand Canyon somewhere. Like, what is that I'm proving? Like, you've
Right.
seen me make these moves, you've
Right.
seen me do these things, but I think that women get too comfortable, and then people are like, and then that's where marriage is just a piece of paper, but it really isn't. I
Yeah.
have seen too many people like pass away, or even when I was working at Cigna in customer service, like you'll have these girlfriends call, and they be the one with these men for 16 years. And they're like, oh, I need to call on his account. And like, so who are you? Well, I'm his girlfriend. Well, I've been with him forever. But ma'am, we can't talk to you about none of his business because you're not his wife. You know what I mean? So I think that I think marriage is a beautiful thing. And I think that people need to take it a little more serious. I remember I was dating this guy some years ago, and I had said something about marriage to him, and he was like, uh, I ain't ready to get married. And I was looking at my watch like, well, you ain't got that much time, boo. 'Cause we been over here splitting bills. Somebody gonna do something in a little bit, or you going to keep it pushing. Because I mean, we talking about my time. What if I die tomorrow? I didn't spend my time over here with you when I could have been with somebody else that was gonna give me what I wanted. No, I'm like, no. And we end up breaking up and going our separate ways. But it was like, no, like,
Well, like you said, so y'all definitely on two different pages, right? You already know what you want to do, and
straight
obviously
out the gate.
marriage wasn't what he wanted, obviously. So it's like, yeah, we on two different pages. So yeah, we need to go on and go this way. You go this way, and I'm going this way.
And I think
Yeah,
it's like messing with like our mental, like women, because like you saying, like both of y'all are saying, we know we want to get married, and it's like, so I stuck around for 6, 7 years. You don't want to get married, so then mentally we like, so is it just a piece? Mentally you start thinking about other things, and then you like, who crazy? Am I crazy for sticking out that
Right.
long? And then we like, you start thinking about all kinds of different things, and it's like that's when the mental come in. It's like, so who crazy? I'm crazy for staying with you. Then we start producing children. It's like, so who really is it? Who really is crazy?
Right.
yeah, yeah. I
Because
mean, I agree.
mentally, that kicks in. You got to think mentally. Like I'm speaking for myself. Like I was with my husband 6 years before I got married, and I just think like, what are we doing? Like we only could play house for so long. So I've been with you for 6 years. You don't know by now that I'm marriage material. I'm
Right.
helping you with these.
Right.
What the heck? What else do I need? Do I need to jump off 35 with a parachute and say I'm the one? What else do I need to do? Like,
I
Yeah.
know.
so it mentally is you start going there. Like you said, Erica, you was in high school, but okay, you got out of high school, then you had children. It's like, dude, I had your whole children. What else do I need to show you? I've been here through thick, thin, ugly, what else? And it's like, I think sometimes the men don't get that. They're like, but I ain't ready yet. Well, we didn't have 3 kids. When you gonna be ready?
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you think age plays a factor in it? Like because just say, and I'm not making that an excuse, but
Mm-hmm.
being so young and coming out of school and not experience in life, like, because that's one thing that I talk to my daughter is like, get out
Mm-hmm.
there and experience life, Jaden. Like, you don't have to settle down with one person. Um, have friends.
Mm-hmm.
Just because at the age that you are at 17, 18, nobody's really gonna wife you at this age.
No.
It's not really gonna happen. It's very rare.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that age just plays a big factor in that we're so young, getting caught up so early and getting so caught up in a relationship at that age?
I think
And
it
then
does. I think it does a little bit because I was 22 years old and I was just like, by the time I feel like I was we moved in when I was 25, I was just like, I thought I was ready in my mind, but now that I look at it, now that I have a 25-year-old stepdaughter, I tell her the same thing you telling your daughter. I'm like, girl, you need to get out there and date, mingle. You need to, have options. And then her dad is like, oh, well, that's whole behavior. I'm like, it's not no whole behavior. It's like you need to have options because you never know. You dating somebody, they might not be marriage material. So you need to weed out who's marriage material and who's not.
And marriage and all that is going. I think at that age they're still young and trying to figure themselves out, and it's like I don't think it's going anywhere. So enjoy your life, get yourself together, get your finances, whatever it is that you want to get out there and do what you need to do. But I don't think that you have to settle down with one person.
No, and to me, I think age, like you said, I was 24, 25. I still think that was young to me. I would still probably ask my mom and them for money. So yes, I'm with you, Erica. Age, you need to get your finances together and knowing like this is the one. So yes, I totally agree.
Yeah,
you know what I will say about that? So I remember, and I really thought about this too, because I think over time it kind of affected me. So I felt like that between a certain age, you should feel that way. I think when you're in high school, but I think once you start to get to college age, you got to start knowing where you're going, because I think as a older woman or mid-aged woman, I would say for myself, what I have experienced was, and Red McClendon said it years ago, one time we was in a single class, is when you date too many people, you like one thing about each one of them people, right? So then when you do meet a man, and he may be marriage material, but that soda is already flat, right? The soda don't have the fizz no more. So because you've dated so many men, whatever you liked out of one man, you're gonna be looking for it in another. And that's why a lot of women, I think, don't have successful relationships, because they have two babies by three different babies by three different people, or they done been in 6 or 7 relationships. And then one dude, he had real good sex. Then one dude, he was real nice. And then one dude, he did everything for me. And then one dude, and then this dude may have good sex, and then you don't go with him no more, and then you meet this other person. And then he may be a good person, he may be the man that you kept telling all your friends you want, right? But he don't have what man number one at. So now you lacking something. So now in your head you like, I like him, but he ain't right in bed, right? So now you got this shit in your head, and you confused, because you still gonna be looking for that one thing that made you happy over here in this relationship. And so I used to teach my daughter that you need to get your stuff together, do you. And I do believe that you should do that to a certain age. And then at a certain age, you got to start seeing where your life gonna navigate to. Because if you start being with too many people, all these men are different. So now you got all these different soul ties on you. And now you solely connected with every man that has ever touched you. So now when you do marry somebody, you're going to have a lot of problems in your marriage, because you're looking for that other man. And all your marriage you're going to do is try to beat yourself up and try to figure out how I'm going to make him do some of the stuff that he used to do. That shit can be really a bad thing when you get into that. And I think that's why we got to talk to our kids about marriage early on. I think the marriage talk comes too late in our age. I think that's when our kids start becoming women, and I think that's one of the reasons why Hispanic people let their kids marry early. Sometimes it could be a good thing for them, and sometimes it could be a bad thing for them, depending on how the guy turns out to be. But I think that you can teach your child that marriage, and this is just me, marriage is something that should be on the top level.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying the first man you meet you should marry, but he ain't the first man you should sex either.
Right.
Because then you get that tied up, and then you don't get this over here. So then you got this big confusion going on in your mind. And then now you fighting for the marriage. Now you done got 4, 5 years in, and you still looking for your ring, and you don't have it. He don't need to give it to you now because he done got everything he wanted from you. Done waited on him. He still ain't give you what you want. So I think the marriage needs to come first
Mm-hmm.
before you have a baby, before you do any of that. Are we worthy to be together for a long period of time? And so um, I think it could go a lot of different ways, but I think that marriage needs to be talked about sooner than what we talk about
Mm-hmm.
because we have instilled in our daughters and our sons even. Oh, do your own thing, have your own place, woo, 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 woo. And we have. I know I have pushed that. And I did that because of the way that my relationships went. They were such terrible relationships at a young age to where when I did find who I was as a woman, I started like saying, okay, somebody giving me a ring. Like, cause I ain't gonna be doing all this no more. You having sex, y'all up on each other, you're doing all these things, and then
You doing the
and
whole
nothing happened.
yeah,
You
you
know what I
doing the
mean?
whole yeah.
And it's it's crazy because marriage is the last thing we talked about, but that's after we done been hurt, and now we looking for somebody to marry us after everybody done drug us through the mud, and now
Right.
we want a husband. But you really could have got that husband a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I think with marriage, I think that if it's taught, I think that if it's taught early on, I think that girls would say, okay, I have a standard, and my standard is to, and this is if they want to be a wife, because everybody don't want to be a wife
Right.
because of the stigma that people put on it. Oh, you got to cook, clean, which that ain't true, right? You should be cooking and cleaning regardless.
Right.
But the stigma that's put on it, so a lot of people don't want it. But the talk should be before you touch me, where are we going? Because back in the day, you couldn't touch them women unless you was married to
Right.
them. Them papas was having to ask them grandmas, daddy, for their hand in marriage
Yeah, that's true.
before our grandmas was born or our mamas was born. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get to do that back in the day. And so I think that, as time has went on, the generations have went changed and things have changed and now we've modernized everything and with this new millennial stuff and I think that's why so many people have so many in and out relationships because the standard of marriage is not that. When you think of marriage, you think of commitment, loyalty,
Mm-hmm.
uh, somebody y'all taking care of each other, and those things are not happening. You either have one person doing more than the next, and it's unbalanced, and it's because people are doing it the wrong way, or they're letting people pressure them, and then a lot of times these men are pressuring you into thinking that marriage like you don't need to get married. We already married. We together.
Right.
No, because if I need to go get in your apartment, if something happened to you, the landlord ain't letting me in because he don't know who I am. So I think that if we start putting a little more something on marriage and how important it is and how nice it really is, it's
Mm-hmm.
really nice to be married. I could say my first marriage was cool. I was a little younger, and then my second marriage it wasn't that great. But being married to Dorian has been a delight for me. It has been a nice situation. Do we get along all the time? Absolutely not. Um, do we have struggles? Yeah, because we're different. You know what I mean? We're different. We were raised different. Our values are different. but we had one common goal, and that was that we both wanted to be married. We both wanted to have a family and do all those things. So I think that is what kind of meshed us together. And then because of the loyalty that we have with each other, I think it's what keeps us together.
Mhm.
Because by far, a marriage is not a easy task.
At
You
all.
know what I mean? One day you may be liking a person, the next day you may not. You know what I'm saying? What about for you, Tanisha?
I just feel like I'm real big on loyalty, so I just feel like sometimes people don't value that, and I feel like you said, marriage is not peaches and cream, and I salute anyone out there that's listening that y'all got rainbows and they making you breakfast every morning. I don't, my marriage is not like that, honey. Some days I want to be by myself. I don't want to do nothing. I want to do Tanisha. I don't want to feed the dog, husband, cat, nobody. I just
Nobody.
alone. And in a marriage, as you know, like you have to be accountable for somebody else. And that's the
Yeah.
thing that I had to learn early on. I didn't birth any children of my own, so it's just me. And I had to learn not to be selfish or not to be so like, damn, them kids, they want that again. And I had to learn, like, I didn't just marry my husband, I married my husband and his children.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
that's another like subject I always tell people. When you marry somebody, you don't just marry them, you marry them, they kids, they families. You marry if they kids got something going on, you have to deal with all that. So I had to learn how to not be like, oh, Ronnie was just that's my Ronnie. No, you share Ronnie. And if
Yeah.
you want Ronnie forever to be in your life, you have to share Ronnie with the responsibility of his kids. I married Ronnie when his kids was 9 and 7. Excuse me, I got with him when his kids was 9 and 7. Now they're 25 and 27.
Mm.
So
But yeah.
I didn't marry just him. I married them. Like, so in my
Hmm.
mind, I was like, so if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do all of them. Mama, you got to deal with all that, and it's a lot. I was young, so I just feel like, I grew up with them. Like, this is
Mm.
not something. And I tell the young girls that all the time, like, y'all having all this baby daddy drama, that's not what you want. You think that's cool now, but when you get, I'm about to be 43 on Easter. When you get my age, you don't want to deal with all that shit, all these kids and all that. At
Yeah.
some point in your life, you want to you want peace. Like you said, I like being married. It ain't always peaches and cream, but I like that somebody always forever got my back. I don't
That's
never
right.
have to worry about like, oh, if I need something, I gotta find him or pay up. Like he always right there.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I can appreciate. Like he always, if I'm sad, he's trying to make sure that he get me happy. And that's the one thing I can appreciate. So when people be like, oh, it's just a piece of paper, that's how you feel. I get it. Everybody don't aspire to be married. I get that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even if you want a partner, you got to learn how to be accountable for somebody else. That's
Yep.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mm.
So Erica, you was in a 20-year relationship. I mean, that's kind of like being married, even though you wasn't married on paper.
That's marriage.
What would you say? Yeah, it pretty much was. I mean, you pretty much was legally married to Hoggy. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, in your time of that, how was that like for you?
Um, I think because, like I told in the beginning, I was so young. Um, and then immediately, after high school, I had Jalen, and so I think because we were so young and not like I'm saying like I'm making excuses.
Hmm.
I think that I hadn't experienced a lot, neither had he, and then we jumped and had this baby, and then I was so focused on making sure that she was taken care of, and we just basically ended up being, not to say that it was all bad because it wasn't.
Hmm.
Um, but I think that I was focused on this and he was focused on that. Even though we were together, we were basically living separate lives, really. So that's just
Yeah.
what it was for me, and that's why I say getting into a relationship so young and not really knowing
Mhm.
At the time when I got into the situation, like you said, you're thinking marriage, that you should be thinking that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't until later
Mhm.
on. Then I started
Yeah.
thinking, okay, as Jalen was getting older, I was getting older, and it's like, okay, I do want that, but so many things had happened already for me, I didn't see it. I was like, it's
Yeah.
not gonna. And I got pregnant again, so it was like I just didn't see it at that time. But of course, I wanted it. Who doesn't want it? So,
Right.
but yeah, that was all. I think that we just and then things had just happened and life happened and it just wasn't gonna happen. But we tried to do the best we could to make sure that our kids had that that home, had both of their
Mhm.
parents. Like, we made it work for what it was. So
Yeah. Yeah. I can agree with that. I think that like
it
I
don't
said,
work.
I think it's something that needs to be talked about a little more. I think it's
Yeah.
so on the back burner to so many people. I think that it's so on the back burner to so many people when it comes to marriage that it's just not something that's talked about because it has such a bad reputation. You
Mm-hmm.
know, a lot of
Hmm.
people are not happy about the marriages that they have had.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And so, even though they still want it, it's still a bad thing in their head for them. Like, you know what I'm saying? They have let the experience of one time really tarnish their thoughts about what marriage can be. And and people be like, oh, this anything can work if you want it to work.
Mm-hmm.
We go to work, we obey rules at work. So it's the same thing in your marriage. You have to do the same
Yeah.
thing. You don't get to talk crazy to your husband or you don't talk crazy to your boss.
Right.
You don't say anything to your boss.
Yeah.
And those are things that have to be learned over a period of time in a marriage because you're used to, talking crazy to people or doing whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
I think I think it's a wonderful thing. Like I said, all of my marriages have not been the greatest, but I can say that I learned something out of each and every one of them that I had carried on to the next one. Well, I knew I wasn't going to do this. I knew I wasn't going to do that.
Hmm.
When it came to that, you know what I'm saying? So um, I think that marriage, that even though I did it that many times, it was still as important to me as it was the day that I, said I do to any of these people that I got, married to. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing. I'm trying to think like, you know,
Do you think
um,
like people, it may be because some men see examples and they're like, I don't want to do that, or somebody in their family might get married and they like, oh, well, they married and blah blah blah, so I don't want to do that. We fine just the way we are. Do you think maybe like that they see examples and they like, I don't want to do that?
I can
I think,
say
huh,
I did that. I saw,
Okay.
and that was one of my biggest things was that I saw so many people going through it and it wasn't working out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of my biggest things is that if I do it, I'm gonna do it, and that's gonna be it. I didn't want to repeat and do what I saw everybody else doing. So I can't say for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I got older, I had to realize that's not that doesn't have to be necessarily you, or
Right.
mhm,
See,
I had
that
to
was
yeah,
me.
got older. But that
Mm-hmm.
was one of the biggest things that held me back was because I saw other people, then I was like, "Ooh, no, this ain't working for them. This ain't working.
Right.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to go through that." So that's why I feel like I never just really did it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like you say, you just have to learn. It doesn't have to be your outcome. It doesn't have to
Right.
be you.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that was me because my husband was married before, and I was like, "You got divorced because what? Ah, we need to do this a little girlfriend and boyfriend a little bit longer." And then see, but then it's starting to be too long. I'm like, okay, well, we good now. So I get it, Eric. I get what you're saying. Like, so I always say, like, I used to do this joke with him. I'd be like, it's okay that you were damaged good. You know, they put all the cans at the bottom of HEB and everybody's still buying them. Because it got a dent in it, it don't mean that it's a bad thing. It doesn't mean that because it's a dent in it, that don't mean that they're gonna throw it in the trash. They're gonna be like, oh, that costs instead of $1, it's 59 cents. They still gonna sell it. So in my mind, I was like, oh, well, let me try it and see if I can change him how his ideal of married to me. So I was the same way you was, Eric. I was like, nah, you toe up from the last one. Because I want to be one and done, but that doesn't mean like you said, how you did it the first time, you're gonna do it the second time. So
yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, my example of marriage was my mom. My mom has been married to the same man since 1985.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And I saw my mom go through a lot of problems with this man. And it never veered me away from it. I always still wanted it because I saw that sometimes they had bad times and then sometimes they had great times. And it never veered. I never thought like, oh, I ain't never. I think one time it slipped up in my head. I think this was the last marriage before this one. I was about to cut the bungee cord, baby. I was about to drop the marriage on down the drain. Because, baby, that fool right there was doing the most, baby, and feet wasn't even on the ground, baby. He was doing the most. So I was about to tell marriage goodbye. Because baby, when somebody can act the whole fool with you and they ain't even living in society, baby, listen, it will make you think twice about getting married. You know, I ain't even mad at the joker, but you know what I'm saying? For me, it was kind of like, oh, I might need to rethink this marriage thing. But then I had talked to my mom one time and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let that veer me off from that because my mom was like, okay, so what? Sometimes you just pick the wrong people. You know what I mean? Sometimes we move too fast. And what we think we see, we really don't see. Then when we get in the situation, now we stuck and we trying to figure it out. And then it ends in divorce because you see them red flags before. And when I thought back on it, I was like, you know what? Okay, I remember he told me that.
You saw
and
it.
I'm looking, yeah, and he telling me he a cheater. And I'm like, she shouldn't have done that. No, you shouldn't have done that. And you would still be married. And you wouldn't be over here going with me. You know what I mean? So it was like, at the end of the day, I'm telling you, I was about to drop the ball, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give him that type of power. I'm not going to let him veer me from something that I know could be beautiful and loving. When he's gonna go on and might get married to somebody, and then I'm be sitting over here bitter talking about I ain't never married nobody. So I took that for what it was. All of those were individual situations.
So for
And
you, so for you saying that, because like you said, you've been married what, a few times or
3 times.
So with saying that for you, do you think there is like one of them things where it's a cutoff, like even though you've been married 3 times, this is it and I'm never doing it again? Or do you think, I mean, if it don't work, it don't work, you move on. You might find that Prince Charming at the end. So do you think there's a limit to how many times you say you don't do it anymore?
I think that as you do it, like Tanisha said earlier, when you know better, you do better. So what you start doing, you start being a little more strategic in your dating process. You start looking at the things that are very important to you. And when you don't get them or you see some you don't like, you be like, okay, I see that. See, before when my first marriage, and then from there to my second marriage, it's still like, oh, I see it, but I'm a good woman. I, I think I'm a little better than the past person he was with. And that be in your head because they make you believe those things. So as you go through the process, even just in dating, you start thinking, okay, I made these mistakes. And it's okay because we're growing and we're young and we're growing. And now I have some standards.
Mm,
And these standards are right here. I already know marriage is what I'm looking for. But
right.
my standards are right here. And you don't get to cross over something that I don't like. You don't get to do things that I used to accept because I'm not a child.
Right.
Right.
Before I could get swindled into believing, oh, well, yeah, he said. And then I started listening to the things that men say because if I'm telling you, if you really listen to some of these men, they will tell you that they really ain't no good, or they're a person that you cannot be in a long term relationship with. But we didn't have the
Mhm.
relations with them, and now our mind is somewhere else.
Yep.
Now
That
we
means.
don't really care that he said that he left her and took all the furniture when he left. Well,
Yeah.
you might take your furniture too when he leaves. We
Yeah.
don't think that. We just think, it was his furniture. He can
Yeah.
take his furniture, but his children live there. You know what I'm saying? So you start to pay more close attention because I will tell you, after my last marriage, when I sat down with myself after I finally divorced him, and I started thinking of all our conversations, and the one thing that popped up in my head was he had had a baby on his wife,
Mm, mm,
and he didn't. It wasn't a problem.
mm.
And then when she left him, he was still blaming her for leaving him, but he had forgot he had a whole kid, right?
Oh,
He had a whole damn kid. And when I thought about it, I said, "Duh, why were you talking to him? You knew he had a kid on this wife, and you thought he wasn't gonna treat you bad. Come on, girl, you got to be stupid." But at the moment, you're
mhm.
not thinking like that. All you thinking is what he's putting in your head that she did to him.
Mhm.
But when you're out of it, you can think more clearly. Like you had a whole baby, not a half of one. You had a whole one. You had a whole little child by somebody else, and you had a whole ring on your finger. Baby, that is grounds for termination, boo boo. Ain't
Yeah.
nobody doing that.
Goodbye.
So as I moved on, I realized that, you just start to look at things and then you start to figure out what's the most important to you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What would make a good husband? Not, we know that you're going to have small problems. And I think this is what people don't understand about marriage is you're not going to have them big problems that you have with their boyfriend.
Mm-mm.
You ain't going to have them. Those are boyfriend problems. When
Yeah.
you are married to somebody and he has good character and he's a good person, you're gonna have problems with him like uh you're gonna have problems with him like maybe he didn't put his shoes up
Right.
or he didn't put the toilet seat down. You're gonna have those type of
Right.
problems. You're not gonna have problems like he didn't call you today or he told you're not gonna have those type of problems. And those are the things that I started to notice when I went into my third marriage. I took everything from them first two and I drove. And not the bad things. I didn't I didn't let go of the bad things. Like in my thought, I still remembered those things and I didn't hold them against Dorian, but I still watched for the signs
Mhm.
Right.
because I still got to be wise because this is my life. I don't care who I'm going with or who I'm getting engaged to and married to. I still have to protect my heart and my feelings. So I started watching, like, okay, let me see what he doing. Let me see what type of person he is.
Mhm.
Erica, remember when I was talking about them 7 seconds?
Yeah.
So I started watching because to me, when somebody love you, they whole outlook on you gonna be different. And that's how you know you got a husband.
Yeah.
It ain't a shadow of a doubt that he ain't gonna do and sacrifice whatever to be with you. And that's when I knew I had somebody with Dorian. So I'm not saying that he's a perfect person because he's far from that. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that that man loves me. You know what I'm saying? So that is how I kind of knew, like, you know what? I could do this. You know what I'm saying? I could do this again. But I tell you this, Erica, this is it. One, two, three.
This one.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how
Cut.
many times? Yeah, because now I'm getting up in age and I'm kind of getting set in my ways. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I'm getting set in my ways. So I don't have the energy to be doing all this no more.
Mhm.
Go sleep in the other room. I'm sleeping there. And we're gonna talk about it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the energy to at my age, I'm already set up in my ways with him,
Mhm.
right? I'm 45. I'm finna be 46. I don't have in my 50s to be trying to be doing all this no more.
Right.
Like, if this don't work, which I know it is going to work, but if it didn't, I'm not. No, I'm just gonna be single. I'm probably be somewhere with my back out on the cruise with my old golden girlfriends. And baby, I'm gonna call it a day. Do you get me? I am not gonna do it. I'm just not. And I'm probably just not gonna want to be bothered after that. I'm like I said, girl, I'm probably be somewhere trying to go to my kids' house, stay over their house for a couple of weeks, and be traveling somewhere. But because I mean, like I said, I'm already set up in my ways. Like even before Dorian moved here, I was already sleeping in, used to sleeping in my room by myself, used to watching my TV by myself. Now, well, you know what I'm saying? So we already are at an age where we like things a certain way. We
Yes.
like our house cleaned up a certain way. We like the, so after a third marriage for me and me having to get back out there in the game, I didn't see the game. I've been doing the game for 30 years. I got a son that's 30 years old. I've been in the game 30 years, baby. I'm be like them football players. What they retire to, they get a certain age. I'm at to hang them shoes up because I'm gonna be too set in my ways. Ain't nobody gonna like me.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Erica. I'm only on my one, and I can tell you right now, being with somebody for 18 years, I'm one and done.
Yeah.
Done. Check, check. That's
Yeah.
it. I've been with him for so long. I feel like I'm not about to do this all over again. I'm very set in my ways, and I'm not doing it no more. I'm not. I see my single friends, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good on that. Because one little thing
Right.
you're doing, I can't do it. You don't want to take me outside, Erica? What? Me ain't going outside. I ain't gonna be able to do it. I like to go outside too much. Nah. Who
You
you
like to
hiding
go
me from?
outside too much.
Who are you hiding me from? I ain't gonna be able to do it. Nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause we going outside
That's
everywhere.
right.
Yeah, you know I'm going outside. You know
I
it.
know you going outside every
I
day.
can't do it. I can't do it. I don't have time for the hiding. Tell me what it is. I used to tell my husband that a long time ago. Tell me what are we doing? Because I don't ever want to be out. Y'all know we live in a small, little, big city. People like to front and be like, "Oh, I was with so and so." I ain't gonna never forget when I first met my husband. I was at Midtown and I was in line getting me some chicken, minding my business. We wasn't
Baby,
nothing.
that good old chicken.
We was just friends.
Yeah.
And I was in line, and some girl came up to me. She said, I don't know what you think you're doing talking to him. I talk to him. He go to my kids and his kids and my kids go to the same school." I looked at her. I said, "I don't give a damn. I'm just trying to get me some chicken. Do you want to get in line with me?"
Right.
But I know where I know where I live, and people like to show you better than they can tell you. They want to make you feel this little. So I don't. I go outside. So we can't even go outside to Baby A anywhere. It's like that's a
Yeah.
red flag. Like Michelle said,
Get out of here.
a red flag. You try to be like, we can't go to Cheddar's. I can't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You better be able to
Yeah.
go to Cheddar's. There'll be a bunch of people there.
For sure.
But y'all know it's some people can't go nowhere with people.
That's right. Cause we know. We know. Hmm.
Yeah, so you know, yeah, like I said, yeah, we
So
are. We are.
I guess for me, what advice would you say that you would give for somebody that hasn't been married? What advice would you give? Like me, I haven't been married, but I mean, I have been in a long-term relationship. But just with
Me
your
personally,
experience and everything that you've been through, what would you say?
I would say whatever you're looking for in a marriage, I would say
Mhm.
stand on that. Don't be trying to be like, oh, well, he do that a little sometimes. Stand 10 toes. Whatever Erica don't want to deal with, Erica don't deal with it.
Yeah,
If his
yeah,
kids is disrespectful and you know your kids ain't, red
yeah,
flag. I'm not dealing with no grown ass disrespectful kids. Bye.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So whatever Erica don't want to deal with that she dealt with before, don't deal with it. It's Erica way, and we gonna compromise, or I'm gonna be single again until I'm 50. Bye.
Amen.
so
Amen.
Happy hour.
Amen. Amen.
no, I think the advice that I will give you is,
Tell Mama,
I
hey,
mean, I think
tell her, hey.
Mila, Erica say hey, hi,
Are you getting
but
comments?
get out of here. So
I got a
I
question. Are
think
you,
the
Michelle?
advice I would give somebody is find you somebody. Me, because I grew up with a thoughtful daddy. And being thoughtful of me is very, very big for me
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a thoughtful person. I'm very thoughtful of people. Whether it's in a way that make people feel uncomfortable, I could be too overbearing, or whether it's I'm super, super sweet. So when I say I want this, or I say I want to do this, I need you to come through.
Hmm.
I gotta know that if all else fails, you gonna be able to pick me up.
Right.
Right.
And if you get me to understand that, then I think you got me. And so I would say get you somebody that they are thoughtful of you at everything. If today you said, you know what, I decided I want to go to Aruba for my birthday, but not on my birthday, like in a couple of weeks. We're gonna do an early birthday. I need
Mm-hmm.
to know we're going.
Yeah.
I need to know that you value me so much that you would do it because you know I would do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would. If Dorian told me today he wants to go somewhere, I'm gonna book us a flight and we gonna go. Period.
Yeah, and I know you will. You definitely will.
Yep.
So I just say find somebody that's loyal to you, nobody that you have to second guess, and
Right.
somebody that is going to be thoughtful. Like I said, thoughtfulness is a big thing for me. And then somebody who, at the end of the day, somebody who I would say somebody who loves God too.
Mm-hmm.
Because that plays a big factor too. You need somebody who's gonna be able to pray for you when things get tough. You're
Yes.
gonna need somebody that's gonna be willing to go to counseling if things if y'all hit a rough patch, they're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna be trying to cop out on you. And that's where that thoughtfulness comes in at.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people you start having problems with because you gonna hit a rough patch in your marriage.
Sure.
And
Mm-hmm.
some people they ready to hit the door or they ready to go talk to another woman about y'all. And I think that if you got somebody who is thoughtful and who's loyal, they're gonna be like, you know what, today she got on my nerves, but I still love her. And
Right.
this woman over here at the gas pump that's looking at me, she is very pretty, but I'm gonna keep it pushing because I know what I got at home.
Right.
Because I don't want to mess up what I know is for show and for service.
Mm-hmm.
Because the green grass may look greener over there while she over there keep pumping that gas.
It's
But when you get,
pesticide.
that's it. You may get over there. Her baby daddy might be knocking on the door when you there, or her kids might be bad. She may
Mm-hmm.
not keep a clean house. Anything.
Right.
So to me, never mess up something and always be thoughtful. And I think that when you see that, you will see it.
Mm-hmm.
And people be like, "Oh, how you know you got a good man?" You gonna know it.
You don't know.
It's not gonna be a shadow of a doubt. I have been in too many relationships my whole life, and I'm gonna tell you, when I got with Dorian, I knew that Dorian was the one for me.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I was a little iffy about it. I was like, "Oh, he real nice." I ain't really used to all that niceness. I can be a little hood. And Dorian is real laid back. He's real mild mannered. He's real sensitive. And I was like, I don't know.
So
I don't know about that.
just when you weren't used
But
to
Yeah.
I was used to fighting with people. I was used to getting into it. People, you ask somebody to do something, they half do it, or they do it when they feel like it. And I was just tired of all of that. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I asked him to do that. He ain't even here, and he did it.
Mm-hmm.
He sacrificed when
Mm-hmm.
he was not in a position to sacrifice. That's when I knew he was my man.
Yes, honey.
When somebody is at the lowest point in their life and they don't know where they're going to get their next from, but they give it to you, not knowing if you're going to ever help them out,
Mm-hmm.
then you know you got you somebody. See, when he was given to me and he didn't have,
Hmm.
it.
he was taking from himself to give, to provide for my needs. He didn't know what I was doing out here.
Hmm.
I know I had somebody because I had dealt with too many people. I had dealt with, you deal with people, you see all the little old shady stuff they do, and you be like, mm-mm. But you out here and you just dating.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, nah, I'm gonna have to go on and make this official and go ahead and move over in this space
Right.
because so I just say God gives us intuition.
Mm-hmm.
He don't that intuition is for a reason. And all that instincts and knowing when to stop your car because another car coming. Those same little things that go in your head when you're about to have a record, you're about to do this or do that,
Mm-hmm.
is the same ones we have in relationships. You got to trust your gut. And if you see something, but I would say you would know when you got somebody. The whole situation would just feel comfortable and right. Like you won't feel stressed about nothing.
Right.
Nothing won't feel forced. It'll just be like a calm lake that has no ripples in it. It's just a beautiful day and the lake is just calm and peaceful. And that's how your life will be. That's when you know that when you feel that feeling, that's when you know you got you a winner.
Your
Until you
yin
ever
and
feel that
yang.
feeling, you
Yes,
ain't got it.
ma'am. Your yin
I have
and
been,
yang. Yes, ma'am.
yes, I have been in a trillion relationships, and I got three baby daddies. I've been married three times. I've been in relationships my whole life, in and out, and I have never felt as comfortable as I feel with Dorian. Never in my life. Never.
Well, you asked for it and you got it finally.
Uh-uh. You let him outside?
My
Who
husband
did?
told me something one
Go
time,
look
Eric.
under my bed.
Said, sometimes God delivers the wrong hearts to the wrong address. And I truly believe that. Sometimes you, like Michelle said, you just know. It's like it's so calm, like you just be like, oh yeah, I know I'm in the right place. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know this to the casket drop right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm. You just know. And you fine, baby. You gon' I'm gonna look up. You gonna be like, "Oh, I'm engaged." I'm gonna be like, "Really?" I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
I know what happened. Y'all can't find my baby.
Girl, they found him. I was about to, girl, you know, I was about to get nervous. My son's gonna come from Paris and his dog was gonna be gone, girl. Baby,
Don't
the whole manor would have been tore
let
up.
me tell you, baby, that
Oh,
happened to me
they'll
when I
find
first got
that.
mine. Mine ran to National Instruments. And you right. I left work. Your son would have left work on you, baby, because I left work and was ready to tear everybody. They didn't make posters and everything of my dog. Yeah, I see you got nervous, Michelle.
I got nervous. Mama said he was under my bed. I was like, anybody let him outside, you know. I'm about to mess up our whole live stream fooling with this dog. Baby.
I
I'm
can
gonna
just
have
see
to
you
go
now
over
calling
here
your
together.
baby. Like, Mama, what?
Oh, I could hear his. Oh, he already gave me some instructions on what to do. Uh,
Michelle,
and
you want
he's actually in Spain for his anniversary.
Okay, now Spain.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, like I say, marriage is wonderful. I think it's
yeah.
beautiful.
Hmm.
It's a beautiful thing. Even the wedding, all the just the people that you love coming and supporting you, and I think it's all so beautiful. But to me, the joy of the marriage is getting through the struggle
Hmm.
because a lot of people don't make it. A lot of people give up. And to me, I don't think it should be a give up thing. Especially when you know you got somebody. You know you got somebody you know that's good to you.
Hmm.
And like I said, we've dated, we've had boyfriends and things, and it's like who who else like it doesn't even cross my mind to talk to nobody like that. Like,
Neither.
you see people, they be like, hey, hey, and you keep it
Right.
pushing, you know what I'm saying? But just to literally like be trying to talk to somebody, it's just like it doesn't go there for me, So it's like, I think I think it's beautiful, and I think that I wish that more women could experience it. Unfortunately, in our life, a lot of women are gonna miss the boat on it. They're not gonna experience it. A lot of it is self inflicted. I will say a lot of it is just women are not being able to get past the hurt of other relationships, and they're not healing themselves
Hmm.
enough. They're watching social media. They're watching people put all this stuff on social media. And I'm not saying that what people put on social media isn't true about their relationships, because I know what I put on there is true about mine.
Right.
And and it's not like I'm gonna get on there and be like, "Oh, today Dorian got on my nerves." You know what I'm saying? No, you're not gonna post that. But at the end of the day, I think that a lot of women have let men put them into this sinkhole, and they don't know how to climb their way back out of it. And that's why none of them would never probably experience marriage. I think that
Hmm.
once you take a blow from a relationship, you just got to stumble back and come back,
Hmm.
because sometimes it wasn't you who destroyed the relationship; it was somebody else. So you just got to take a step back and say, okay, where can I improve as a woman so that I can meet somebody to either become marriage or for my marriage to be a success and not end up in divorce.
I
So
think taking time. I think taking time, like you said, between and getting yourself right and
Hmm.
putting God first. I think
yeah,
is important.
hmm I think a
Um,
lot of people just don't do it.
yeah, I think having that relationship and just working on you, and I think it just
Hmm.
comes with time.
And
I
having that
think,
village, like we still need a village, even though we grown. We still need
yeah,
a village.
mhm, mhm,
Yes, I agree.
yep,
I agree.
Married or in a relationship, we still need examples. I have friends that been married 31, 32. I keep my circle because I want to see it, because my mom
hmm
and my stepdad was married, I want to say 27 years
hmm
before he passed. So I'm like, I need in my life, I need examples. I need to see, especially the people that look like me. That's important to me. Like I need to see healthy relationships. whether it's marriages.
Mhm.
I need to see that in my life. Like I need to see people thriving in healthy relationships. I don't need no toxicity. I need healthy.
Yeah. And I think we see so much toxic things out of relationships.
Mhm.
I mean, marriages. Um, that it does taint people thought of marriages. I hear all the time, married men, they ain't this, and married men. And it could be true for some people, you know what I mean? And then it can be not true for some people, you know what I'm saying?
They
So
in my DMs and
um,
blah blah.
I
Yeah.
see it all the time.
Yeah.
All the little Valentine's posts. It'd be like, oh, he gonna spend time with this woman on Valentine's Day, but girl, you gonna get the 12th or the 13th, you know. So, and all of the memes be funny because y'all know I'll be posting them too. But it's like when you really truly know, you just have to believe in your marriage and believe that
Mhm.
and nurture your marriage and cultivate it and plant seeds and water them seeds. You
Yes.
got to work on your own garden if you want it to be beautiful.
You
You
better come
can't just
on.
plant a seed and then,
Yes.
well, I got him already, baby. Let me keep it moving. No,
Mhm.
sometimes the other morning, Dorian does so much stuff for me. It absolutely blows my mind sometimes because I haven't been in a relationship like that where a man does everything for me. And the other morning I got up and I said, you know what? He does so much stuff for me. And he never asked me for nothing. Never. Nothing. This man never asked me for nothing. I kid you not. And I went and I know he likes Chick-fil-A. I got a Chick-fil-A card and I put it in his little man cave on his futon and I wrote him a note on it. And I told him, I said, thank you for everything that you do for me. It does not go unnoticed. I know that I work a lot. I got a lot going on with my kids. I'm all over the place the majority of the time. I said, but I watch what you do for me and I appreciate it. Go have lunch on me today. And I
Mm.
left a note on the card and I left it on his futon. And he was like, oh, and he loved it when I do stuff like that. But I didn't know you loved me that much. I'm like, boy, shut up. But you have to do that sometimes. And I
Mhm.
think sometimes we get so comfortable in marriage. It's like, girl, I'm already married. Something don't mean. And that's one of the things I learned coming out of my other marriages is that if you want the same that somebody is giving you, you got to give it back to them. So
Yep.
because he does so much stuff for me, I make sure, I don't have to work full time no more. So I make sure I get him something to eat, whether I buy him some or whether I cook it. I make sure this house clean. I make sure his clothes is clean, all his stuff he wear to work. And I try to do those little things for him because I don't have a lot of money to give. I got bills, I got things, we have a house and stuff we got going on. So to me, it's not always about the material things either in the
Right.
marriage.
Mhm.
It's the little
Yeah.
gift card for him to go to lunch. It's those little bitty things, you know what I'm saying, that I feel that maybe he would appreciate as a wife. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's another thing that could be advice to you, Erica, when you do get married is it really is a lot of small things. And I think those are the things that keep people together. People think, oh, you
Mhm.
buy me a car or you buy me a house and this,
Right.
and that. But it's really the little things that
Well, mhm.
people enjoy. You know what I'm saying? That makes the marriage too. You know what I mean? Like keeping the house clean. When he come home from work, it's quiet, it's clean, it smell good. The hot water running, the lights is on. To
Yes.
me, those things are important.
Yes.
If I was
Very.
a man, that's what I would want. If I got out of work, baby, I want to take me a good hot shower. I want to sit up in my man cave
Watch my
with
show.
watching my shows with my eating tray and my food, my dinner.
Right. Mhm.
And and to me, those are some of the things that I make sure I do for Dorian. You know what I'm saying? Even though he does other things for me and don't, and so we have our own little way of doing things.
Right.
And I think that's another thing in marriage. You got to get your own little
Love
groove with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, again, y'all, I think this was a great topic. I think it was a great topic. I think that you know, marriage is a large umbrella, and
Mm-hmm.
it is so much stuff that falls under marriage. I mean, we could talk about marriage all day.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so
Were you getting did you get comments? Where did she go?
I'm like, where'd she go?
Wait, what happened?
Oh, there she go.
oh Lord,
Where
I
did I go?
accidentally touched some. I was trying to look at the comments. I was trying to
Oh,
see
that's
if
what
there
she
was
was
any.
asking you.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
was trying to see if any comments was in there, but I can't see my I
Mhm.
can't see my Facebook page, but
oh, you can't see it. Oh, okay. Cause my
I can't see it.
cause my mom said she kept trying to chime in a few times, but she wasn't able to.
Shit wasn't able to. I don't know. Maybe next time we'll do it on
Live.
Facebook Live.
Okay.
Yeah, I think until we can get this connected,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think that we should go on Facebook Live. Um, you
Yeah,
know.
'cause I tried, but she said, but she's proud of us. She told me to tell you.
Did she see? Did she? Was she able to see the live?
She said she could see it. She said I tried to get in. I could see y'all, but I couldn't get in. Proud of y'all. That's what she
Oh, she couldn't get in. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna get that fixed. Hopefully, if people are able to see it. I hate that we wasn't able to take any questions. You know, because I think it was a great topic. But
yeah, it really
we'll
was.
come back to this topic. I think what we'll hit Facebook Live. Um, you know, maybe we'll try a different day of the week
Mm-hmm.
as well. You know, maybe we'll hit it like on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday, and we'll come back and we'll discuss, you know, marriage again, and we'll move forward until we get this, you know, this all together. But I appreciate y'all coming on. I think that, like I said, I think marriage is a great thing. I think it's a lot of pros that come with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it's good for your health. I think it's good for your health mentally. I
Yes.
think it's good for your health physically, internally, if you have a good marriage. And like I said, a good marriage depends on you. It's what you put into it.
said.
If you, like I said, if you plant the seed, you know, you cultivate that dirt, you bear them seeds, you water them. I
Mm-hmm.
think that you know, like they say, you know, the grass is greener where you take care of it at. So if you focus more on you and your husband and what y'all marriage is about and what y'all stand for as a unit under a union of God, then I think that, you know, it'll work itself out. I
Right.
think that anything that God puts together, He's going to give us the tools to work it out. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that I think that it's just a great thing. I think it's a great. I know a lot of married people that are happy. They have a good time,
Me
you
too.
know, and
Very successful
it,
marriage.
yeah, and it's fun. And like I said, we're human. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have the best day every day. Some days I wake up and I'm not having a good day, and I don't feel like talking to anybody. But you know, and some days he's the same way. Some days he don't be feel like being bothered with me. You know
Right.
what I mean? I may say something, he may say something slick. I'll be like, ooh, I ain't finna talk to him today. And I go on about my business for the whole day. And then we might talk to each other later. But it don't mean I'm be like, he, no, uh-uh.
Right.
You just, and those are the things you learn in the marriage.
Hmm.
As time go by, you learn, let me think about him.
You learn to
Or,
pick
you
your
know what?
Yep.
We gonna talk about that later. You know what
battle.
I'm saying?
You learn,
You
baby.
you you learn, and especially if you love the person,
Hmm.
because you know how to break up with somebody.
Hmm.
Breaking up is easy. You know what I'm saying? Breaking up, you can be like, oh, okay, bye. I know how to go with somebody else, or I know how to get a divorce. But if that's not what you want, and your heart is in this, and it's just like any other thing that you love and you care for, you're gonna put effort into it. And it's the same thing you have to do with marriage. You
Yeah.
gotta put effort into it or it's not gonna work. Um, and that'll come with time. You will learn. And the person that you're married to, they will teach you those things too. Um, so
Patience.
patience. That's the main one. Cause Lord, I did not have that at all.
Baby,
Trust
that
me.
patience is one of them.
Yes, and patience is one of them.
Hmm.
Yep. So, well, y'all, it has been absolutely real. I think this was a great topic.
It was.
So
Oh, it's been great.
marriage, marriage, marriage. We'll be hitting on this sometime again, maybe later in the future. But it
Hopefully we
was,
can get
it was,
some
yeah,
feedback would be great. Because
Yes.
everybody
yeah,
would
Feedback would be awesome.
yeah.
definitely be
I wish that I cannot, um, I just could not
done Facebook,
see
but
the guests. I mean,
yeah, we'll figure it out.
yeah, I just didn't see.
Because definitely last time we had a bunch of people on Facebook Live. So,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but remember we did it at a different day of the week too. Remember we did it like on a Tuesday.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta remember it's Friday night.
maybe
Mm-hmm.
You
we should
know,
try. I think we should try Tuesday or
I think
Wednesdays.
we should try Tuesday or Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So we'll come back and we'll discuss that outside of this,
Okay.
and we'll talk about that. But
Well, thanks
um,
to everyone
I
that
think this
did.
was good, y'all.
Yeah, thanks for
It
everybody that
was.
did today.
Yeah,
And spent a Friday night with us. We appreciate it.
We really do thank
yeah.
you for taking the time out.
And this was our first, but it'll get better.
It'll
Oh,
get better. Yeah, we'll get our our little things together because
the
we
kinks out.
definitely had some technical difficulties today, but it's all good. It was the first podcast, the first live one, so um, we'll come back and I'll get I'll get with y'all and we'll take it to the next step.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
All right, y'all.
Bye,
Have a good
ladies.
evening,
Bye,
ladies.
y'all. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.